French President Emmanuel Macron has begun talks with key figures from several political parties to form a new government, including a new prime minister. Inconclusive parliamentary elections nearly 2 months ago dealt a blow to Macron's centrist alliance. He met with leaders from the left, centrists and conservatives on Friday and is due to hold talks with the far right on Monday. The leftist New Popular Front coalition won the most seats but fell far short of a majority. Macron's own term ends in 2027, but he could see his power limited by a future government. Correspondent Rosie Burchard is at the LSE Palace in Paris for us, and she reminded us how the French elections ended.
Well, when President Macron called for these snap elections back in June, he said that his goal was to clarify the political situation in France. Well, that seemed to quite spectacularly backfire because not only did his political grouping, his centrist grouping, lose its majority, but there turned out to be no majority whatsoever. So literally a situation of less political clarity than ever before in this incarnation of France, in the Fifth Republic, a hung parliament, and that is unprecedented. It's hard to overstate this compared to other countries which are nearby, for example, Germany or Belgium or the Netherlands. There just is no political history or culture here of coalition building, so we're still in a pretty unclear situation today.
Yeah, so they're having to learn something that they've never had to do before. Macron said he's talking to all of the parties now. What are the possible coalitions here?
Well, listen, it's still looking pretty murky because we know one thing for sure, and that is that the political group which came out on top in these last snap legislative elections, that's the centre to far left New Popular Front Alliance, they say the prime ministerial job, the job of forming a government, should be rightfully theirs. However, it's still looking pretty far out of reach for them at the moment because we've seen different political groupings coming into these talks today and essentially saying that they have a red line because in that leftist political group there is a far left party called France Unbowed. It's seen as basically extreme by parties which are on the right of the political spectrum. Now, that means it's really still all to play for. We're expecting that President Macron might come out with a name for his prime ministerial pick next week, perhaps Tuesday before the Paralympic Games start. But he's a president who likes to come out with surprises, so we really don't know yet who he's going to put forward. That candidate for the leftist alliance looks like she has pretty slim chances so far, Lucy Castet, who says she thinks the job should be hers. So far looking unsuccessful.
And I'm wondering, what about the far right moving forward? You know, Macron, he called snap elections because of the gains that the far right made in the European parliamentary elections. But in these snap elections in France, the far right lost some support. So where do things stand moving forward?
Well, they were locked out of power insofar as they slipped to third place when it came to the second round of parliamentary elections. But it should be noted that the far right still now has more parliamentary seats than ever before here in France, and they therefore remain a political force to be reckoned with. They won't be getting seats or members in a government cabinet moving forward, but you can be sure that the leader of the far right here in France, Marine Le Pen, still sees herself as a president in waiting. We're talking currently about who will be the prime minister, who will be government cabinet ministers. But the point is that the bigger political prize in France is the presidency, Emmanuel Macron's role itself. His term runs until 2027, and that's when we'll see likely again the far right trying to challenge him and get that biggest role in French politics.
GW's Rosie Burchard with the latest from Paris tonight. Rosie, as always, thank you.